Hello ratbags, it's Jade. Welcome to a special access show today, giving you the rundown on survival for the rest of this year, coming to Xbox, PlayStation or Nintendo Switch. You guys know I always deliver you the news about the biggest and best survival games coming out, and maybe sometimes not the best, they end up just being put on console anyway. Anywho, I'm going to cover all the new games that are coming out in the next 9 months. I've done this video before, just before Christmas, but already there's a bunch of brand new announcements for games that are coming out. So I want to go over and give you a quick, brief opinion and info about when to expect them. I've also got a part 2 of this video talking about the ongoing games, the big ones like Ark, Conan, No Man's Sky, as well as a whole host of other survival games on console. What are their plans for the rest of this year, including DLC and free update content. So if you love survival, make sure you've got notifications turned on. Let's go through some brand new survival games coming either from PC or brand new survival releasing on console in 2020. Memories of Mars is pretty much Rust in space. Well, that's what it originally started life out on PC about 2 years ago. All of a sudden, it just got announced of a release date for Xbox and PlayStation, the 12th of March. You're going to be trying this very, very soon indeed. It's just gone 1.0 on PC, a week ahead of console version, and so we're all going to get a chance to see this before it releases. I'm going to be giving you a preview, a review, an in-depth look at this game so you know whether or not it's worth your time on a console. It is indeed a PvE PvP survival game where you'll run around the planet of Mars, gathering resources, getting better equipment and taking on other players as well as mechs and robots. Now there are zones that PvP is always enabled, and originally the whole map was PvP enabled. You could offline base raid people and all sorts unless you got enough credits to protect your base. They've simplified it a little bit, they've made some big changes, and honestly I need to dive into it before I talk any more about them. But as far as I know right now, there is PvP zones and the rest of the map is safe for you to build your base, so you don't have to worry about getting wiped offline. It is coined Rust in Space or Rust on Mars as I would like to say, because I do think it's the closest thing you're going to get on console until Rust does come out later on in the year. I'm really hoping there's enough content here. It didn't do that well on PC, there just wasn't a player base behind it, and they had too many changes and wipes and maybe just not enough content added. They've had some months since then though, and it seems like the 1.0 update may be a little bit chunky, so I'm definitely going to review it and show you guys all that there is in Memories of Mars, coming out on Xbox and PlayStation on the 12th of March. Space Engineers, another game that's been on PC for a number of years, came out with early access last year and now it's finally appearing on the Xbox. No news about PlayStation, it looks like it's probably going to be on the Microsoft platform for at least a good 9 months to a year exclusivity, but hopefully it will come to PlayStation eventually. It is gonna have its beta, in fact the beta is live right now. If you pre-order the game you'll get access to it. It's not coming out full release though until April the 15th on the Xbox. If you pre-order you get a bunch of skins and there's 2 different versions of the game. Space Engineers, don't forget though, is a bit of a hardcore game. I'm not going to sit here and say this is going to be very easy. It's got a reputation for taking up a lot of your time and it really has got a bit of a steep learning curve. Over the years during early access they have added single player missions and ways to try and get you into it a little bit easier, and it has got the ability to have survival elements added or taken away. So if you're not a big fan of some of that stuff you can change some of the settings. You can run your own servers on PC. I'm really hoping they start doing that. I do believe they're in talks with server providers so that you can have servers on the console as well. So Space Engineers, absolutely want to give this one a try. Just hopefully it's not going to be too hard for me to play. Just a bit more of a breakdown on what you can actually do though. At the moment you can co-op play with up to 2 players on an Xbox Original or Xbox One S. If you've got an Xbox One X it will support up to 4 player multiplayer lobbies. There are no mods available like PC, which is kind of expected, and there will be no scripting though, which is often something that a lot of people really want to see on consoles, but it just simply is too taxing. The systems just can't handle that kind of input. So programmable blocks won't be there in the Space Engineers version on Xbox either. You will be able to download your own workshops though and blueprints, and you'll be able to use a separate website, the mod.io site, to use this as well. You'll even be able to share creations between PC and Xbox in this way, as long as they don't have any mods or programmable blocks scripted. So yeah, good stuff for Space Engineers. Bit limited, but at least we're finally getting it on a console. So yeah, long last, Space Engineers is coming. It is a bit watered down, but I still think this is going to have a hell of a lot of content for people that just want to go and explore space, build their own little spaceships or their own landers, and all sorts of different things you can do in this game. I think it's got a lot to offer. So I'll let you guys know when I get hold of a key this week and give it a try on the channel. Stranded Deep is finally coming. I know it's been delayed. I know I've been saying this for a few months, but developers have just run into the last few issues dealing still with the remains and fallout of their previous publishing company, Telltale, going under. Now, it took about a year to get their rights back and get the game in a more stable position where they can release it. They've done that now. They're just finalising some stuff with Xbox and the PSN stores just to get the game out. It is expected, last time they posted on Twitter, as going to be the end of March, beginning of April, that we finally see Stranded Deep come to console. It is more of a single player experience, crafting a raft, going from island to island on procedurally generated worlds and trying to survive against sharks and all sorts of other wildlife and nature effects. PC is still in early access, and it looks like it's gonna be in early access for a while longer, but hopefully 1.0 is going to be the rest of this year. They have split screen on Steam, and they now have co-op play enabled via Valve and Steam's own software system. So hopefully this means console will get co-op play too, but I can't guarantee that at the moment. All I do know is that there is definite split screen on PC, so you would imagine that would be on Xbox and PlayStation as well. I'll have big news talking about Conan Exiles plans for the rest of the year, but this is time for its little offshoot, Conan Chop Chop. Now, this has been the third time it's been delayed. It was originally meant to come out, I think, way back at the end of the year. Then it got pushed back down to February, and it's been delayed once more, saying now simply Q2. Conan Chop Chop is a little bit different. It's more of an RPG co-op game, but there are survival elements to it, and I like the idea of it. I like the fact it's based on Conan Exiles, so you'll be co-oping it with your friends. It's going to be coming out on Xbox, PlayStation and Nintendo Switch, and it has got all the features and things that you'd come to expect if you've ever played Conan Exiles. If you haven't, I think it's got a bit of a Castle Crashers vibe about it. It looks like it is a little bit open world, procedurally generated though, fighting off various different monsters, leveling up, getting lots of armor and completing quests. So I'm definitely down for this. A little bit of fun, and hopefully it will be here, hopefully very soon, and won't get any more delays. One game I'm really looking forward to, a co-op survival game for Xbox, PC, and it looks like it might end up being Epic Games Store eventually too, is Grounded. No word on whether or not it'll ever come to PlayStation. It is a Microsoft Studio owned game made by the same people that made Outer Worlds. Obsidian have actually put a smaller team on this, been working on it in a while, and it looks like it's going to be a big mix between Ark Survival Evolved and possibly something like State of Decay, or maybe even a bit 7 Days to Die vibes, because you're going to be fighting off hordes of insects and creatures while building your bases and exploring a backyard that pretty much looks like it came out of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I'm definitely feeling this. Set in the 90s, it's got 4 characters to choose from, and it looks like there's going to be a bunch of ways that you can traverse the game and get through the missions. It's got story content, and there will be soft gating, so you won't necessarily be able to just run around and do everything you want straight away, but it does look like it's going to be soft. You will be able to come up with ingenious ways to get through certain missions, craft your own armors and weapons, and take on lots of spiders and killer ants. It is going to be early access and game preview, so it will be on Xbox Game Preview first, and it's looking likely it's going to be coming very soon. They did say spring 2020, and they've just shown a big portion of the actual gameplay at PAX East, so I'm predicting this will stay on time and we are going to see it come out before maybe May. 4-player co-op, you'll be able to run around helping out your friends, all crafting and building together. It looks like it's got some of the best systems from some survival games we've played already, and mixing it all together in a more fun experience for the whole family. But don't let the kiddie nature of it fool you. This does look like it's got all the potential to be just a great survival game, not a great kids game. Definitely keeping track with this. This is on my most wanted list this year. A game that's been hyped up a fair amount, or definitely promoted on Twitter, is The Survivalist. It's made by the same people that made The Escapists, a prison simulation game, and they've pretty much taken that art style and added some survival mechanics where you now run around your own little desert island, training monkeys to help you automate and gather resources. It is going to be a co-op game up to 4 players, and although there's no significant release date as of yet, they've been heavily promoting it over the last few weeks, and they even give people like Dan TM exclusive rights to show and play it. So I expect this to come out in the next couple of months. It will be the first part of the year. It looks like it's pretty strong. It looks like there's a lot of gameplay there already. Honestly, The Escapist was one of my favourite games back in the day when I would play some simulation games that weren't just survival. So I love the idea of this. I love the idea that it's 4 players. You'd be fighting off hordes of enemies while trying to make sure that your base is strong enough to withstand them. And them training the monkeys really makes this a little bit more different from other similar games. It's a bit of a mix between Stardew Valley and maybe Don't Starve, and I'm loving the idea of this one. So the Survivalist coming out Xbox, PlayStation and Nintendo Switch 2020, but I expect it definitely in the next few months. Green Hell has been out on Steam Early Access a while now. It's a story-led survival game in the Amazon jungle as you fight through hallucinations, trying to find your missing wife, and all the while finding a mystery of a forgotten mysterious tribe. It's pretty scary at some parts. Typical survival elements, build and craft your own bases while fighting off the creatures that roam around the jungle. It is a decent little game. I loved it when I played it. I did a significant amount of story episodes last summer, and I'm looking forward to it finally coming to console. It's meant to be coming to the Nintendo Switch, the Xbox and the PlayStation, and they're just finishing off the co-op mode at the moment. So we've got a bit of a way to go yet. I still think this will be hitting though in the first half of the year by summertime, and I reckon it will be launching on Xbox and PlayStation, as it seems the co-op mode is going to be the final piece of the puzzle before they release it on console. I expect this to do very well when it hits Xbox and PlayStation, and definitely Nintendo Switch, which is still lacking quite a few games. So if you're prepared to get eaten by leeches, fight off crocodiles and try and lose your insanity on a regular basis, then Green Hell is going to be for you.
I need you here. Jake, please.
Praey for the Gods is a survival game heavily influenced though by Shadow of the Colossus. You will be running around trying to take down these huge gigantic creatures. In the wild between that, you have to survive by making sure you've got enough food, you're foraging, you're crafting, and you're facing off against other minions. The traversal on it's pretty decent. You can literally do this in game, hover and use a sort of parachute to glide around, and there's definitely some really good stuff going on here. It's been in early access on PC a while, but they did say it would be coming to Xbox and PlayStation as part of their 1.0 push. They've been adding brand new creatures to face off against, lots of changes and tweaks, and it looks like it's all coming together very nicely. They've just added new achievements, and that's normally one of the last things they'll add before the port is finished. I'm expecting this to come out at the end of summertime, maybe even a little bit before then, hopefully. Praey for the Gods, something different if you really like survival games, a little bit of a mix with that Shadow Colossus vibe too. It does look like it's only going to be single player. I can't say I've seen anything saying it's going to be co-op, but for sure I still think this is worth your time. Definitely going to be checking this out when it gets to 1.0 release. A mixture of puzzles, solving, as well as obviously taking down these giant beasts. I think it's got something different and unique about it. I don't think I need to say too much more about the fact that Rust is coming to Xbox and PlayStation. Finally, it's nearly 5 years since they first announced plans to bring it to console. That obviously got waylaid as they focused on PC. They're definitely in a position now where they want to start bringing it to consoles and have employed an outside port team to do the job. Double 11 are going to be taking over that duty, and you can bet sure they're going to be working with Facepunch in making sure we've got the best experience possible. The creator himself has said he doesn't want to release a shoddy, broken, horrible survival game. He wants Rust to be the best survival game on a console that you can play, and I kind of believe him. So it is meant to be coming. He has said recently, not in the first half of the year, so July, maybe end of June onwards, that's when we can expect to possibly see Rust come out. Equally, of course, it does mean it could end up coming out the end of 2020, but I definitely think this is going to be coming before the big launch of the next consoles. A lot of people were worried it's going to be pushed back and just put onto the next generation. Well, by now you should start to realise a lot of the games are doing cross-platform, cross-play or cross-generational, so I don't see that being an issue. I think you'll be able to play Rust on the next generation of consoles or the one that we currently have, and it won't be that much of a big issue. It is going to have a beta, and as far as we know, it's not going to release on game preview on Xbox ahead of PlayStation. It looks like both systems are going to get a chance to play a beta version of it, and it will be released at exactly the same time. I will keep you guys in a loop. This is going to be big on my channel. I expect to put a hell of a lot of time and resources into some decent Rust content, guides and tutorials. So stay tuned. I'm still going to be leading you up to that with some tutorials and guides so that you guys know the basics about Rust, this PvP eccentric game coming the second part of this year. Subnautica Below Zero has been in early access just over a year now, and I would have assumed it would have come to game preview at least on Xbox a little bit sooner, but it looks like the devs have now decided to only release it when it's full release for PC. So that's going to be a number of months away. They've just added a big content update to it, and it does seem like they're kind of nailing down a lot of story content. I still think we're going to be at least 3 or 4 months though from it actually coming out. They have said they want to get it ready for Xbox and a PlayStation, so it launches 1.0 at the same time as PC. So yeah, I'm not expecting to see this until the second part of the year, maybe late summer, early autumn. But Below Zero, a continuation or sub-story alongside the original game, coming hopefully very soon.
Hello?
Human, turn back.
This one's a little bit of an offbeat one. It's going to be coming to PC and Nintendo Switch, and I do hope that means it will be coming to Xbox and PlayStation too. Trash Sailors is a co-op survival game where you are living your life on a little raft or ship as you run around the bayous and swamplands trying to get enough resources to survive. It is a co-op game, and you are going to have to face off lots of dangers. It's made by a very small independent little studio, so don't expect too much from them, but I am loving the art style of this. I'm loving the uniqueness of it. I think this could be really good. No firm concrete release date as of yet, but I'm expecting it towards the end of summer again, start of autumn. We'll see this on Nintendo Switch, and I think this will go great on console. So please try and get it on Xbox and PlayStation as well. Otherwise, I will be showing you this on PC or the Switch. Ran Lost Island just finished off its first beta in December time, so it's looking likely we'll see this come very soon, but I put it at the end just because it's more of a battle royale than a full-fledged survival game. You will be going up against other factions, other teams, trying to compete and trying to find fabled gold as well as other treasures. It's got a very different vibe to it though. It is a survival game, it's still in there as well, so I really like the idea of this one. Feudal Japan fighting off against different factions and eventually maybe having to fight against your fellow friends as you try and escape the island or be the last one alive on the safety boats at the very end. Some unique stuff going on. I will try and get some gameplay of the next player that takes part if I'm allowed to. Ran Lost Island's definitely something new and exciting, and I think it's got something very special about it. I've been saying this game's coming to console since 2016, and that's originally what was meant to happen, but it got pushed back and pushed back. Eventually it came out of early access on PC, and we thought we might see it come out on version Xbox very soon after, but that didn't happen. Then they announced last year it would be coming, and again just months and months and months with no real word or talk about why there were so many delays. The last I heard was it had failed certification and it had to resubmit to go through. Chucklefish, the publisher, clearly got some sort of issue with it. Maybe it's to do with the actual creators of Starbound actually having problems and issues, maybe with publicity. There's been lots of allegations of them being abusive to members of staff, maybe not paying them correctly, and all sorts of other accusations being thrown about in the last 6 months. So maybe that's why they've delayed it. Otherwise, I can't think of a decent reason why it's failed so many certifications and why we still haven't seen it on a console platform just yet. It may look like a Terraria ripoff, but Starbound's definitely got a little bit more about it. So I'm really hoping this is the year we finally see it come to console. Dying Light was meant to be coming out in the next couple months, but it's been postponed once more. It's been delayed more times than I've had at dinners, but it does look promising. They showed a bunch of gameplay, lots of gameplay demos were going about before Christmas and of course last year at E3, so it's a bit of a surprise that they've delayed it. It obviously needs more work, maybe internal testing has revealed some stuff. This co-op survival game, open world RPG is going to be coming, and I'm hoping it will be 2020 still, but they haven't actually put a new release date. They haven't just delayed it by a couple months. There is no current release date for Dying Light 2. I never really played the first one, but I always hear so many good things about it, and the second one looks to build more on the parkour aspects of the first game and branch out even better. So looking forward to Dying Light 2 eventually when it comes out. I'm pretty sure it will be 2020, but not until the very end of the year. So a big year for survival games. That's all the new ones I know about been announced and definitely coming to Xbox and PlayStation, as well as some hearsay about what we might see towards the end of the year. Scavengers could be the last big different one we see, and as far as I know it is meant to be coming out this year on Xbox, PlayStation and the PC. It has you going up against other teams, fighting to get some resources along the way, surviving in cold, harsh environments, taking out other opposing teams, or possibly even working together to secure a final objective. It's up to you after that objective secure whether or not you actually carry on sharing the loot or you turn on each other. That's what's so different about Scavengers. It's got a little bit of a battle royale vibe to it, a little bit of PvE versus PvP, and I think it's got something interesting. So I'm looking forward to hearing more about this game. Will it come out in 2020? I'm not too sure. They have shown off some gameplay demos, which is normally a good thing. Pretty much hands off, showing it at various game shows. So hopefully we'll see more information about when this might appear. But I'm hopeful this will be pretty exciting to play when it eventually does make its debut on console, maybe at the end of the year. So there we go guys, every game I know about brand new either coming to console or being ported over from PC for the first time. Let me know if there's any I've missed or any other games you're looking forward to, and I will be back with part 2 taking a look at the ongoing support for some of the biggest survival games on console like ARK, CONAN Exiles, etc. Until next time, rat bags, laters.